Going. Thank you for joining today. I know this how hard it is sometimes to join during holiday. So today we have session number 6, and we will talk about, as usual, some mobile testing and some, I don't know, maybe I open eye from somebody of new things. Maybe it's actually some old stuff that you already knew, but we still need to go through. So we will talk today about difference between testing approach and testing plan. We will talk about testing domains in mobile world, mobile testing specific, mobile testing types, and cover some interview question and answer as usual. So the question, regarding test planning, I think then I'm actually sure that Michael already covered some of the stuff. So it's always coming confusion when you come to real world, to real interview. From one hand, it's like very generic information. So this everything that's related to test planning or so what we do, this during preparation before we start to really test execution. So from other hand, and every time it's a specify, oh, don't worry guys, it's actually not in your job description, it's not in your job responsibility. So, and you like question, all right, why I should know this stuff? But when it's come to, again, to job description or it's come to interview, one of the first questions they will ask you is, are you familiar with test plan? Are you so comfortable to write test plan? It's like, oops, okay, here we're coming again. And this people get confused because it's a lot of generic stuff, theory, then they know, but in reality, everybody like lost. So what exactly they mean? So what do you expect from me when you ask about testing plan? So here's the thing. So I talked to 3 friends of mine, so this, and they're all managers, they're all QA manager in mobile. And I asked them, okay guys, when you ask a question like this during interview, what exactly you mean? What answer you expect? What you waiting for? So, and they all, actually they work for 3 different companies, so different personality, but they all answer me the same things. So they told me like, okay, from QA perspective, we're looking specifically, so then, and want to know, then people comfortable with templates of test plan, then they understand architecture tree of test planning, and they can make some addition to this test plan, such as, for example, we have some update in some iOS system. All right, it was iOS 6, now it's iOS 7. So are you comfortable to write addition to plan regarding iOS 7? How you will do this? So here's the confusing part. It's like, oh, okay, general blah, blah, blah. So this network, strategy, da-da-da. So, but in reality, it's so simple like this. All right, if somebody asks you for editing piece of information, some new feature, so where we go, how we start? It's actually not too much to do. It's maybe a maximum 1-day task, if not couple hours task. So we kind of know by this time our application, or in general, so what application should do. So we kind of understand where's our resources are, specifically iOS related. Okay, we go to apple.com, so we check list of new feature which coming with iOS 7. So it's maybe like currently it's over 200 different feature. Are we really need to go through the all 200s? No. We're looking and checking this with our product, this application we're currently working with. Okay, what exactly we can apply from iOS 7 new updates or new common feature and option so that will be really applicable to our application. So after that, I guarantee you this maybe will be 10 or something. So you will be already have some test cases related to this native application related to our iOS 6. So you will take these test cases and check if you can just change some of them, so edit or modify. So, and it will be done deal. Or it's some specific new feature that could impact our product, then we need to create maybe couple new test cases. It's it. So it's not really big task, but you need to, a lot of people just in general do not understand what manager asking for, what they expecting. It's why this, I think it's necessary to talk about test plan specific and test strategy specific. So then you can differentiate and understand in what situation you can apply your knowledge, because it's not really high scientific things. All right, so let's start. Sorry for this, like, additional piece of information. So when we talk about testing scope, and we're talking about strategy. And I saw this in many job descriptions, and they ask, you understand testing strategy? Because sometimes what happens, specifically if it's startup or small company related, so you may, as a team member, and you have a lot of cross responsibility, so you may be asked to take some part of this test plan and make a search, or make suggestion of some specific things. So when we talk about scope, then we need to talk and think as a team. How we will test the product, with or without carrier. You remember who is carrier, like Verizon and AT&T. So we really need a SIM card so to make a calls. We need create some data calls, really need a data plan, or it could be just Wi-Fi spot, something related. So are we talking about the different variation of operating system from client side and from our side? We're talking about web. Web is a web technology. Again, it could be different web application protocols apply. So this is how we test things and what this application will work with. So I don't make too many slides today because I think this, I try to consolidate not too many pictures, but many important words together. So when we talk about strategy, then we need to cover testing infrastructure. Then it's a source control. So how we do things, it will be our server. We'll take some server from third party like Amazon service. So we're talking about compatibility of hard and software. We're talking about data environments. So this will be its cloud, or how we, store and response to data. So the second point will be test requirements. We're looking for stability, completeness, performance, and security of requirements. So we're looking from the different perspective, what kind of documentation should be created. So technical specification depends. We never know. And right now, when we're talking about strategy, most of the time it will be applied when you will work for startup, where the people rely on each other. They do not have too much documentation, do not have too much time, do not have too much money, but have too much enthusiasm, and they really need to move fast forward. So then it's why they, always cross and intersect responsibility and tasks. So number 3, review strategy. Oops, sorry, it was supposed to be walkthrough. So process walkthrough, this how this inspection and compliance test plans. It's where there's a first time test plan come. So all these like generic words, as they really have a meaning behind, because we always need to have a backup for strategy as well. So this, all right, if it's plan A do not work, so do we have plan B? So we need to have some kind of control mechanisms. So this how we if something go wrong or not right way or not efficient way, so do we have something against some way A and B? So we're talking about resources, budget and availability, skill level, commitment. So this it's where the point of due days come. And you remember I mentioned in most releases, and you saw me last week, so then I was like completely not myself, dragging so down. So most of the releases go night shift. Why? Because it's common the night shift server is not so busy. Then when they try to load data and go last run before release, before go to live to production, so they don't want the server be too busy. So it's why most of release I know for a lot of companies go really nighttime or really late evening time. So when we're talking test objective, so what kind of testing will be covered? And here we have not just type of testing, because type of testing will be pretty much the same for most organizations I know. So we talked about this last time. It will be core functionality at first place, and after it will be integration, smoke and sanity/regression testing. But we're talking about a category of testing. So what inside core functionality you will cover? What is really applicable to application? What is important? And I put like everything together. You must understand. And some of you I saw already put in the resume. Like unit testing or system testing. Guys, be careful with these words because unit testing, it's really come from developer side. So this QA, only in extreme agile you will perform unit testing, but not, maybe 1% of you will be in extreme agile testing. So system testing is also, indicate high level knowledge of API and high level of QA, which maybe 1 or 2% in the class will be compatible and able to do this right now. But most of you just go to generics for fun. We remember what fun is. And maybe some manual, so load stress. We also have manual security, so specifically for penetration test cases. And I will give you at the end of our class some information regarding security testing, then at least you have like general knowledge about this. So when we talk about testing strategy, we need to think about what testing tools we will do, what to automate, automation tools, manual tools. And when I mean manual tools, you remember we talk about helping apps. So we have some, the special also tools for video recording on desktop. So like Jing and things like that. So this maybe we will look if it's Android application, then we can use also so this Eclipse with Android ADT. It depends on the project. It's always something need to be discussed. And what to automate, it's also questionable because I mentioned, I think, last time when we talked about RDA and emulators. So then actually in mobile world, it's not too many things to automate, be honest. So because a lot of new features, then you cannot predict behavior. And if script running, it will be maybe actually faked result. So because you never know this, you need to have a human eye and observation what's going on around. And so what if something go wrong, then what way and how it's go wrong. So we're talking about risk assessment and its impact of failure and probability of failure. So then how stable application could be, and technology-wise, if it's some new technology involved and nobody knows how they will work really, so nobody try. So this here's we need to make a risk assessment. So application quality of software, nature of system, and business criteria. It's actually we're talking about. You remember this priority severity, the special SP numbers. So I mean, most of the company uses some numbers, or they have some special grade things like low, high priority. So average, normal, things like that. So, but anyway, it must be, this strategy must be set up in the beginning. So what we do what is our quality of software? For example, we make a commitment and we will not release any product which have some launch critical defect, which will be assigned like 2 some major issue with take ASAP response. So this is, we're talking about severity priority. So nature of system, again, you remember we already talked about this and covered the subject of what kind of mobile application we have these days. It could be native application, it could be a web mobile application, and we have also hybrid mobile application. So it depends on the nature of system. We can make some special adjustment or create some special test cases. So application characteristics, stability, connectivity, launch, UI, application accessing internal resources or user data. So again, a bunch of generic words for you, but for strategy point, it's very important to cover this, this what we talk about. It will be covered in user scenario or user case, and I actually will spend a little bit, couple more minutes, so later in this session to talk about this. So when we come to test environment, again, beside and we specify test environment, what kind of layers of environment will be run through the project, and we cover, it could be developers, it could be some QA level, and not just one, but multiple QA from low to high environment. So we could have staging, or we can have pre-production and production, or in some minimum, we will still have 3 layers. It will be developer layers, QA layers, and we will have production layers. So it's like a slice of the same product that go run in parallel. Each of them, they have their own built and version systems. So they not really, this, and you transfer information between these layers. So, but in case of mistake, it's always like short pieces, cuts, a lot of cuts on this environment. Then you can, if it's a bad build, bad piece of, implementation, then you can just take it out. So it's why it's effective way to minimize time to find mistake and troubleshoot. So, and we come back again to control of testing procedures. So bunch of this formal writing, so written reports and documentation changes. So how the documentation changes should apply, and who will do these changes, and what is the chain, this of command should apply to these changes. So it's a really like 360-degree spectrum. So what we do in strategy, you do this all? No, but you must be aware. So then, in one of these out of 11 points that I mentioned, so they can ask you to do some additional research or get responsible, because in each team we all have some like extra additional responsibility. Who do what? Your strength is to write good reports? Fine, then you pretty much will be assigned to do these reports all the time for full team. Or you very good with some understanding of code, HTML code or whatever. So this, when we talk about, for example, web mobile application, fine. So then you will be, specialized in application characteristics. So on connectivity stability launching, because you will know this from end user perspective, and almost like so from the developer perspective, you will be bridge. So for the team to translate and find mistake quickly. So it's just example of it. Now, I already mentioned then so what you need to be worry, actually, this, and from this worry, don't think then it's an easy part. It's like, oh, blah, 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 I can always blah, 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 generic stuff. So this, I warn you, then you need to be prepared and assess what will be your expectation and what will be expectation of manager. So this right from interview. So it's a good part. You remember in each interview you should ask some question. So it's your special part when you can ask all this specific about company strategy of testing and product strategy. So, and you need to clarify it. Company resources and structure. How many people and what are their responsibility? As they have offshore team? It's a question number 1. So this regarding software development life cycle, you need to ask, so what is the duration of release and sprint cycle? So what kind of technical resources, financial possibilities? I am not encourage you to ask for salaries and whatever numbers, but this, just generic question. All right, in the case of emergency, are you guys plan to get some contractor for short term, or so how you actually do things? Or it's just, okay, 2 team member, it's just you and me, and it's a startup, and if I create 5,000 test cases, that means then only you and me should execute this all. Hey, make assessment. Are you really want to work so hard? And I don't know this. Are you able to work so hard? So company vision and perspective, it's also important because it depends on the type of company, growth pattern, and kind of application. So you can make your judgment. Are you really long with this company, or it's just very short-term contract for you and you need to move? So, and here just for your additional information. So when we talk about startup, it's very good question to ask, and just to find out, is a company got the fundings from ventures, so venture capitalists, from VC in short term, or from angel? Because so why it's important for you? Because if it's angel, then more likely company get short-term fundings up to 2 years. So, in not really big fundings. So then for you, it's definitely a very short temporary job. So, or you really need to get creative and become a manager in this company very time soon. And again, so it's a guess company. It's a pilot project. So nobody knows it will go high and become million company, or it will just collapse and nobody will remember. So, but you need to understand clearly, if you get this place and everything is cool and everybody's, happy, it's not mean then it will be for a long time. So if it's a VC, then situation is a little bit better from some perspective. So then company get a good couple million fundings, up to 10, 15 million fundings, and so they will run at least 5 years before a VC will decide what to do with this company, sell or whatever, or forget this project. So, and for you, it's mean then you can make your living plan, so what you will do with this company, and so how's your life will go. So I'm just looking from this perspective, very generic information, so because it's not object of our class. So, and this, when you come to interview, it's a very good question to ask. So what is already done documentation wise, because it's the most important things than what you face in your day number one and your week number one when you come to the company and don't know where to start and how to start. So what documentation they already have? As they have sitemap, they have some website, like a master copy, so before they turn to mobile, as they have some sort of wireframe or mock-ups, so some sketches of design, how this mobile apps should look like, as they have already test plan done or not, so as they have already user scenario and user case written. So, and again, we come back to this question, user scenario and user case. So what is the difference between them? And actually not too much. So user story, it's a lightweight document. So then, it could be just a very short generic statement without any detail. So in kind of informal, so then we know, so what should we look like. So this, it's happened to a lot of third-party contract organization who work for Google, for example. So I heard many stories then, guys come so completely packed with test cases, templates, and blah, blah, blah. Nobody have time for templates. They have contract for 6 weeks to cover certain area, and they ask you just, hey, do you know what to do? Come on, go ahead. Here's your module, start testing. No test plan, no test cases. So, but again, are you do ad hoc? No, forget about ad hoc. It's a monkey tester can do ad hoc in high school kids. So if you, state yourself as professional, then you will never do just simple ad hoc. So you will make at least checklist. You will do exploratory testing. So this you will do this with some meaning behind. So where you go and how you go and what exactly feature and option you're looking for and where possibly you can find bugs. So, and we will talk about this not today, but I prepare for you already like 20 screenshots with different bugs than typical bugs than you can find. So, and we will talk about this next session. So when we talk about use case or scenario, then it will be like heavy weight document with any possible details, and actually sometimes they put not just normal flow steps but also alternative flows. So then if it doesn't work as completely expected, then where we have workaround, and if you will find this workaround, then you need to submit this to BSA person, so who is responsible for updates of documentation. Okay, so here's a more just description of use case versus user scenario. Um, again, we're talking about detail and logical path. So this, I just give you a shortcut. I think I took this from Google. Just, then you don't need to Google by yourself very quick. So, and refresh your memory, what is this all about? So now we come again to test plan from QA perspective. Everything I told you about strategy, it's just blah, blah, blah that you need to know and understand conceptually. And, this, do not look dumb or completely frozen. So during the meetings, so more likely most of this information, generic information, will be pop up and push on your head during the meetings. So, but after the meetings, we come to real life again. So then we really need to do something, not just sit at meetings and say yes or no. So and again, we come to the question, so what can I do for test plan? How I do test plan? So we already covered this point number 1, recognize difference between test plan strategy and test plan practicum. You also just need to be specific and straightforward with your manager. So what is expectation? What they think then you should should do, or what should be done from your side as a team member with test plan. So because sometimes people are afraid to ask to look dumb because they completely out of subject and don't know this what to ask. So this, you come specific and say, all right, what you want me to do right now for test plan? So I can create a folder and start create functionality, core functionality test cases. Is it will be enough for me, or you want then me create some architecture tree for test plan? So, things like that. You need to start, and it must be clarified before you start. So then, because again, I have the life example, poor guy, he was very motivated, kind of, I can say aggressive way motivated, to do the best all day long. So they give him just a small task with test plan. So he was using and utilize all his knowledge about any possible theory and strategy of test planning. So was spending 2 days. They don't bugging him. So for 2 days, to put this all effort, create like 10 pages documentation. And after that, they tell him, do not come back. He was like completely, destroyed. Like, what the, I'm spent so much effort for nothing. So, and when I ask him more and more questions. So why you do this? How you do this? Like, hey, why in the beginning you was not go to manager? You was too much. You was not just too much. You was overwhelming too much. So nobody asked you to write full test plan. They pretty much already have test plan. So they just ask you for small addition, and you work 2 days to create and absolutely make revolutionary for all the documentation. Who will like this? Nobody. So they decide and they need to get rid of you before you create some really disaster in their company. So I am sorry to say I will do the same. So it's why this, it's very, so we come back to point number 2. Yeah, this is why it's so important to talk to manager and set up the borders, frame. So what exactly I should do and how much time I have. Or many times they will ask you, what is your estimation of time? So this, again, to estimate your time, do not say, oh, I will do this in 2 hours or in 2 days. No, just ask what exactly so should be done. And for everything, we have some special assessments. So this, we already talked how many test cases you possibly can execute. So if we talk about how many test cases you can write, it depends what you have in your hands. One thing, if you don't have anything, then you need to first do through the exploratory testing and create some checklists. So what kind of sitemap of application. Based on this sitemap, so you can create some list of modules. So what should be covered in the testing? After that, you will think again. So it's a creative process. What kind of testing you can perform for each this model, what is applicable, what is necessary really. So in every time it's a kind of draft paper, so it's more likely will be in written form that you should discuss or just check or review with your manager or person who is responsible for product owner. I don't know, this depends on organization. So it's a process, it's a like long process. Other things, then if they tell you, all right, hey, can you do just we already have like, I don't know, 5,000 core functionality tests, so look in the test plan folder. So can you create from this some integration and test cases? Again, question, how many you want? So 500 out of 3,000, all right. So this I will think then it will take me a good 3 days to do it. So boom, because it's not just to, you know, shrink so the core functionality test cases. You also still need to go back and forth to refer to requirements if they exist. So to find these requirements, so it's taking time. Whew, all this detail. By the way, details. Like, man, she's like overload me with all this detail. So right today, this we have another good successful story. Guy that got interview and passed it and got a job. So online student. But so every time, so this is my first question to these guys after I congratulate them. So like, okay, what was the key point? So this, why you think you got a job? And everybody replay. Nobody say, oh, it's a lucky sign. It's always my lucky day, da da da. Or I learn hard everything. I know everything. No. So we never will learn everything. But they all have the same. They say, I put a lot of details and I tell them story. So details and story, it's a key word during interview, all right? So this, you have my story, you can convert and take 1/10 of this, and it will be enough. It's why this I try to give you so much details. Then, so what you remember, it will help you. I have also reply like at least 5 times. Guys send me emails like, hey, so you know this. I always was overwhelmed at your lesson, and after when I got interview, I just some of your story pop up from my head, and I took this as a mine. So and I pass interview. All right, so go ahead. I have a lot of story. Here's 1,000 nights of, not Arabic nights, but 1,000 of mobile testing nights ahead. So then we can tell stories. Okay, so come back to test plan of QA perspective. Create frame of test plan architecture tree. It's a compromising because, you know, this is, if you Google it or just go like Google image, it's my favorite search techniques. So you will get a lot of different test plan architecture tree. So it's a kind of template, what kind of folder you can possibly put in your project. And it will be never, you know, give you perfect variation of it. So because it depends on the project, depends how big is it, depends what is the planning for the future of this project. Are they plan to do automation? Are they stay right now as a web mobile application and that's it? Or they will go to native? Or what is the plan? So it's why this, I have some template for you and I will distribute this over email tonight. So I try to train my guys in the class. I was like, all right, you have template. Get creative how you can use this template. Not just stare at it, not just copy and paste. Every time for each application, try to create, so extract from this template you have in your hand. So what you think should be applicable to this specific application. So it's why this, I want to give you as a part of homework tonight. So just to pull some application, let's take the very, very simple one, like a Domino Pizza. So you go through this application, naturally mobile version. So and try to create test plan for that. So, you know, just generic. If you're interested to improve your skills of writing test plan, so do it, submit this over our collective email. So I will check this through the next week. Why I, so you know, this positive, then I can check everybody work, because normally from whatever 70 people we have between two classes, only 15 will submit the work. So this 15 who motivated and really want to improve and learn. So this I highly this, you know, this and happily will evaluate it. So let's do this way. So we come back now to think about organization of your test cases, because at least I use for the last 3 years, so like version A, B, and C. we can do by phase and release. So this, it must be somehow a systematization of this test cases when we start writing them. So we can do this, as I said, so this by phase and release. For example, phase 1, release 1, so sprint 2, user story, blah, 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 number. So, backlog. So it was funny, this to clarify it. So backlog, it's one of the special fancy word in Agile that mean feature list or wish list of specific new features or options that will be implemented in each specific sprint. So it's not mean backlog like whatever I don't know, some person was asking like, where we submit these logs? Like, you not submit the logs, it's a backlog. So I hope we're clear in that. So it's not backlog like backup your computer things. So it's a special term for wish list of desirable features that should be designed and implemented in each sprint. So it could be also done and organized by module. You remember I mentioned, so then if we go through and look of application as a web application, so then we have some kind of sitemap. And we can divide this in module. For example, one module will be home page. And we create any possible test cases related to home page only. So we know also then from home page we can be refer or redirect to some next page. And it will be, I don't know, like a category of something. So then for this category of something page, you will create another module in any possible test cases. So you can go this way. So, and you will just go through each of this module, each of this page, and create so many test cases as possible. So, or you can do this by dates. I know this mobile banking, sometimes when they have really short cycle release, or gaming companies, so they can go by dates. Because sometimes, so they have like a lot of gaming companies these days have release cycle 1 week. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know. They have 2 builds a day, so in the release every week. So every week they complete some backlog with at least 6 or 7 features, so new characters, updates, whatever. So it's a very fast passing and very high pressure, so the testing environment. Okay, so number 4, analysis of available business requirements and statement. So it's what we should do and, implement this as a folder somewhere in your test plan. So what documentation you have. I always leave also in test plan folder for developer. Just let them be. So let's put them stuff there. So, and we also need to be like all team, agree and improve the systematization of test cases. So it will be not enough to put title like verify blah blah blah. So yeah, if it's 500 test cases, verify blah blah blah, so spend 2 hours, you will find this test case again. But hey, if we have like in one cycle, in one phase, so for core functionality 3,000-5,000 test cases, and they all will be start with something verify login, and what happened if login will be a global footer things, will be on each page. So how you will find the end or the start of the story? So 2-3 months later, when they decide to update or implement some new feature in a specific this area. So all what you need to do just to find all test cases and modify them. How much time you spend? You're not in waterfall where the one product could be created within 1 or 2 years. So you're in mobile world now. You do not have time. And that's why this title in the test case writing become crucial things. We need to somehow make systematization of number of requirements ID right in title. So, or, this description of modules. So then everybody think about new person comes so to help you in your project, or developer, or some manager who try to review this, or person just in your team who try to review this defect or test case. So they need to understand where to start, where this test case belongs. So, all right, I think I make my point. Whew. So we covered first question. Is any question regarding that? Should we talk about this more, or you just get sick of this subject over and over? Strategy and test plan, strategy and test plan. So, is any response, any reply? Come on, guys, where are you? Are we clear with that? We can move to the next point. Yes? No? Are you guys all on recording kind of thing? Strategy. So what about strategy? So you're still not clear? Not too clear. Oh, strategy is never clear. So because we're not good a little. Okay. So at the end, let me go check very quick. I think I have these things right now. Yeah. I think it's a very good picture. So, you know, you can put this in your folder, so, and it will help you, I think, to, you know, just to cover this subject. So here's a wheel of fortunes. So what we do is different kind of testing. And, you know, this base of, you never know, it's a wheel of fortune because each company has their own vision of how they do things. So, you know, this, it's why this you can clarify their strategy of testing right in interview. So this could be some kind of Jewish question. They ask you like, do you understand strategy of testing? It's like, yeah, sure. What is your strategy of testing for your company? I would like to know right ahead. So right is, you know, straightforward before I start work with you guys. So, and to see how they reply. So just real job. Theoretically, it's clear, just a real job is not clear. So the thing is, then it will be never clear until you will go through the interview and collect your answer from your interviewer. So, but again, in generic stuff, we look in sum of factors that should be considered before we start testing, before we start writing any test plan, or before we start writing any test cases. Where the company go and what is company vision in testing. So what network should be taken under consideration? What devices we use, what operating system we use, what browser we use. So how, you know, this our life cycle, so this of development will go. What is our sprint duration? So this, what exactly will be covered in each sprint? You remember this? I told you typical things what we cover in a sprint. So we start with some kind of expanded test cases, which call core functionality, but it's not limited to functionality test cases only. So you remember this, if we don't have time, so we will do kind of at least fun testing. So for functionality, UI, and network connectivity. So if we absolutely do not have time, like it's a common question again during interview, if you do not have time, you'll have only 2 hours, what kind of testing you will perform? So then you will do some combination of SMOC/sanity test. So SMOC will cover product from A to Z, and it will take about 50 test cases. And so for the rest, sanity test cases about 15. It will be feature covered in the last couple sprints, so most recent implementation. So the new stuff that was coming in this phase. So altogether it will be about 70 test cases that you need to execute in 2 hours. So also if you do not have test cases, period, but still need to do something fast, so try to perform think from perspective SMOC and sanity test cases and so testing. So it will be your strategy. So say, all right, what is your strategy so of testing? So tell me that, you know, that's from what we already know. The simplest answer is, so I will do exploratory testing. So for doing exploratory, I will create checklist of what? We just talked about this 2-3 minutes ago. So from your perspective as QA, manual QA, nobody expects you to, write some company vision statement for 10 pages. So they always try to understand how this your conceptual vision and how comfortable you to work independently with test cases, write test cases, modify test cases, and things like that. It's all go around this. So yes, you can bring this general information. So this, if it's needed, if I get task from you specifically to make research, so I will check this, what is the hottest and coolest devices on the market. So then we need to take under testing consideration. So I can make research. So what kind of helping tools we can use and utilize to create performance and security testing without to involve big bugs. So this, you can bring this up. But beside that, yes, you can make assessment of network, and what is from network perspective, if you're strong on this, point. So this, what network we should use. So what possible behavior will be of our application in 3G, 4G, so network, or during Wi-Fi hopping things. So what kind of protocol is necessary to use in our applications for testing? Again, you specify this in generic. So this, if it will be task given to me like this, so this, I will be able and comfortable to do research and give you result. But in general, so I understand in your expectation in test planning and in test strategy, so how I will do certain things. So, and you start to give her details, or details. So how you normally perform testing if it's something unknown and something without documentation, or with some documentation, that's a good one. So always, you will never fail if you start talking and make the details. Then if I have time, do exploratory. So that after that, I create checklist of points that what module should be tested. So after that, I make a point. All right. So this, what kind of testing I can perform for each of this module. So this, after this, I create test cases for each modules. Then I will think, all right, how I can integrate and put these modules together. So if it's necessary, if it's applicable. So, and so on and so forth. So, but we talk, we come back again. What is this? Clear. All right. So far we're good, and let's continue to the subject that needs to be covered still. Here. What time? Whew. All right. I mentioned this, and you need to just remember, this again, based to all the, and related to all the strategy things. It's like, so this, I understand then application could be tested from different perspectives, as a manual, remote manual testing could be just, so you remember I talked last time, so then we have new wave coming and maybe hits market next year, so testing master-slave devices. So we talk about automation. You can brag about automation then, so this everybody needed, and it's a hot spot in the mobile, but in many scenario you cannot use or relay on really this real reliable results of automation testing. Yes, you use this for continuous integration, you use this for regression, you use this for some core functionality. But if it's come to UI or usability issue, so if it's networking related, so in many case scenario, new features, sanity and smoke test during release, you cannot rely on automation. It must be, you need human hands and eye to observe and make a decision quickly. All right, so what type of mobile domain you know? Ta-da, it's very simple. So we have generally right now 3 types of mobile testing domains. First, it's downloadable mobile application testing. So, and we have this like from version A and B again. One is from end user perspective, and it's like you understand if we take application from the store and do some kind of user acceptance testing, beta crowd testing, and things like that. One is from professional perspective, from QA. We have multi-environments, and I mentioned this already, so like developer, QA, staging, pre-production. So on each of this layer, we execute test cases, and actually if we have time, depends on duration of our sprints. So then we may have multiple iteration of the same test cases for each environment. So like we can run over and over the same test cases, but for a different environment, and get different results and find new bugs. So it can happen very well. We have second type of testing. It will be mobile website testing. So I got you some links of website. If somebody interested, check the site. So some of them also this, can give you some very interesting exercises. So, but it could be just it's accessed via browser, and it's a very simple, so no download involved. So we concentrate on browser compatibility testing at this point. And we have mobile handset testing. So the thing about I understand we just, as an online student, we spread around country and internationally, but so this, what happened if you get some job right straight from manufacturer or from company like Samsung or Nokia related way, or Motorola, so where you just test device itself, because device itself is not just a piece of electronics of something, modules or whatever. So it's also a lot of different components of software that need to be tested. But the high point at this testing will be compatibility, integration between operating system, so between soft and hardware. So a lot of test will be use some special application. It could be not like some special names, but a lot of internal specific program will be created to check compatibility of I don't know, some CPU and memory lot, so in presets native application that already exist in device or should be existing device. So, and that's all really heavily related to network stack protocol testing. And I give you some again links, then you can read more about this if you want to already. So what is the difference between mobile testing and mobile application testing? Ta-da! Very simple. We just need to know definition of mobile testing and mobile application testing, and it will be just very easy answer. Actually, this number 3 and number 4, it was 2 questions that got me into a job that I am right now. So this only 2 question in interview I got. So the manager was like excited how I answered this question. I was excited, and I have so good manager that give me so easy question. So we found each other. So, okay, the answer for this question is, then when we talk about mobile testing, then we talk about mobile testing on 2 levels, system level and application level. So it's included mobile protocol stack testing, multimedia testing, and feature testing. So when we talk about mobile application testing, then it's only 2 layers of an application level, multimedia and feature. So the simple answer is, what is the difference between mobile testing and mobile application testing? Mobile application testing is a part of mobile testing. Ta-da! So as simple as could be. So here's usual this I try to introduce you, then give you initiation points, so where you can dig deeper. For example, this if somebody interested in mobile protocol stack testing, it's very complicated. I told you then from all online class, maybe 1% of people will ever get close to this, because it's a specific industry related and specific company that uses kind of testing. Most of software application company will never come close to network stack protocol. But for technical guys, it's maybe will be way to go and to look specifically for company working with mobile protocol stack testing. So when we talk about mobile multimedia testing, just people take this easy. It's actually very interesting kind of testing. So this, I give you some of this example, this testing video conferencing, testing cameras, So this testing MP3 as rigger and player. So this and they have a lot of different characteristics and specific utilities, specific software. So for kind of automated test cases. So because a lot of parameters for media, for sound, you cannot really do manually. It's not possible for human beings to do this too fast or differentiate all the specific half tone or hues so of colors. So, and I really love this one. I highly recommend it to print it because it's a like best explanation of regarding multimedia application testing I found. So this cover like most of different so this the varieties of specifics. So this what we do and how we execute multimedia testing. So now the last one is very simple. So it's what we pretty much born and learn right now. So to deal with the feature and user interface. So and just as example, so we check on phone book, SMS, security, calculator, gaming, whatever's our program doing, how it's doing. So and now there's a question of, regarding compare web application testing versus mobile application testing. Every time I ask in kind of dumb question, but sorry to ask. So what do you think this, what is simple, less complex, is web application testing or mobile application testing? What is the less complex? Just give me one word answer. Oh, first word. Web app is, all right. So web app is less complex. You got it. You got it. So we'll, yeah. And again, you can answer like this and it's it, and more likely you will expect next question. So, or, you know, person will ask you some additional things like, why you think like that? So give me some example. But I misunderstood. So, but thing is then I always recommend you to tell story. So I actually, when I got this question, I was just go to the board and start create some table like this. It's like, all right, so let's divide this in category. So this how many devices we have for web application and how many devices we have for mobile. So how many platforms we have for web application, how many platforms we have for mobile web application, and so on. I mean, I hope that everybody knows this answer, but how you present this answer show this deepness, how you know the subject, so and how you present stuff. So the manager will love this from a different perspective. First, it's organized. Second, it show you analytical skills and you know how this globally you think. So this you also construct a table right in front of his eyes. So it means then you're very familiar and comfortable with reports or create some kind of tables that really useful in our work. So do not shrink, you know, this yourself with short answer if you know the answer. What answer? What answer? Answer is then mobile application testing is much more complex and web application testing is less complex. So when we compare these two kind of testing, and here we create a table why mobile web application is more complex. So, and I was thinking then it's a kind of very easy question. So the thing is this, again, if you got this easy question, please enjoy yourself. So make some little bit performance of it and, you know, just show your best from this answer. So they give you chance. So how you, and you need to present yourself from little bit bigger side, you know, this, so then you'll be able to analyze things, then you can look bigger picture, so then you think conceptual way, then you can present stuff and write immediately create some table. So it was my point. So it's funny. So the last one is, what is a different way you can install mobile application? You know what? Really, it's not really it's a very simple question. Nobody really go deep in this question, how you do these things. So they only just, talk about, so what your experience with installation? Do you know how to install apps or whatever? And you say, yeah, it could be different ways. So, and you just literally, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, because sooner or later, this in theory or not, but you all also as an end user, so have installation like this through the cable, through the Wi-Fi, through the browser. Yes. So this we have auto because we're talking about firmware updates overnight. So there's Bluetooth, all right. Maybe not of you, all of you use Bluetooth, but some. So using third-party apps. So if we have app file or APK file or IPA file, we use Dropbox, we use Android installer, we use TestFlight. So then we can drop so our special file, native file, which is not in a store yet, and retrieve this from our mobile device. So it's a very simple, like 2-3 steps procedure. So 7 o'clock, 7:01. I have here a couple special slides for you. So here's a good, for people who was confused again by strategy things. So I have some, again, good slides then may help you, because so this you say, my strategy could be different, depends on what kind of approach is needed. So we can talk from perspective of carrier, we can talk from perspective of network technology, from operating system, or just by hardware technical, requirements and parameters. So from different point of view, always keyword, the strategy when you talk about something generic, try to bring conceptual pictures. So then, yes, you can turn 360 degree and will be available and do some research. Are you really and you can ask with surprise in your voice, I'm really should cover all of strategy in our company? So you really expect me to write all test plan? It's actually not in my job description. I'm just manual tester, but yes, I can do. So if you exactly specify, so what is my frame? So what exactly your expectation is, what should be done. So I'm completely capable to do it. But be honest with you, so I don't know any manual tester. It's a manager work, to write full test plan. So it could be only this in case, and again, probability then how many people are out of class will go to straight startup who just created a couple of weeks ago, do not have anything. So very low. That's why you always will have something. You will always have some documentation. You will always have already something done before you. And you will be always part of teamwork. So then specify what is your part of your teamwork in the beginning, to not confuse yourself and not confuse your manager and not overdo yourself, okay? So I will submit some couple interesting, I hope it's interesting files for you. And check your email in a couple hours. And I really appreciate that you be here today. I promise only field picture next time. So we talk about bug report and test case writing. And I will show you this real examples from the field. So thank you so much. I'm not sure I need to clarify this with Michael. Do we have session on 30th, or it will be already after New Year? So I will notify you guys through the email. Oh, sorry, not through the email, but over our Skype account, okay? So thank you for being today, and I wish you politically correct happy holiday. But hey, for most of us, Merry Christmas. So thanks to being today here. Bye.